Setting up. Setting up. Let's see what's happening. Oh, I think you can see it. Blah, 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 blah. I think so. I think that worked. All right. Perfect. Just had to double check, make sure it was all good. Hello, and welcome to my first ever craft stream. This is the first one I'm ever doing on this channel. It is basically I'm gonna try and work on some things that, some projects of mine that I want to make sure that it gets finished and whatnot, and I have a couple of projects that I'm working on, so I want to make sure that that is all set. So, yes, that is the plan for today. So, I have 3 different projects that I'm going to work on, and I am planning on streaming for about 2 hours and 30 minutes, so that's like an hour per project, except for the last project, which would be 30 minutes. So this is kind of what I think is going to end up happening with my time frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 2 of the projects that I need to do for about an hour each, while I'm sitting here and talking, introducing myself, talking about things, talking about life, interacting with chat as people come in, as well as kind of talk about the process and talk through the projects that I'm working on. So that's probably the plan that's going to happen. So let's go with project number 1. Project number 1 is this fingerless glove. This is a fingerless glove set that I have been making my partner. Let me just show you. I've already finished one of them. There's this gorgeous glove here with purple and like a teal, dark blue, dark green color. And I just have to finish the second half of it, which I actually have inversed the color work here, so this is the main part of the fingerless glove here, and then it turns into the purple, so I got the purple and the blue. The pattern is the Yarnivore UK Dragon Scale gloves. They utilize there's a good way to get the picture going. This is a free pattern that you can get. You just have to search up Yarnivore UK, and then they have the Dragon Scale gloves available for download. And it basically utilizes what's known as a crocodile stitch to make these really nice like scale patterns here, and it also is good for like leaves and things like that. This is the kind of stitch that you would use if you like making like dice bags and you want to do like a dragon scale dice bag, which got really popular. So my first plan is to finish these up because I need to weave in the ends of this guy, and then I need to finish this guy. I am about to start the color changing sequence, so I wanted to make sure that I caught that and try to finish this up today. That's my goal for the hour for that one. Next up is actually another glove set, but this is me testing out this pattern called the Naughty glove. Naughty as in Knotty. It's really fun. I found this on Ravelry for free. They call it, let me just double check the name, because I'm pretty sure it's just called Naughty Gloves. Yeah, it's called Naughty Gloves. It's by Julia Mueller, and it's on free. It's on Ravelry for free, and I'm sure if you go to her site, Julia Mueller, she's got a bunch of different designs too, but I am going to try out the naughty gloves because I am being asked to work on this guy. So here's the picture of it. It's going to be my first cable glove set that I'm working on, so I want to make sure that I work this out because I'm experimenting with it for a present to give to someone at some point in the future, but I need to figure out what gloves to make them first, and this is kind of where we're at. I've barely started it. This is what I have so far. Yeah, I'm using knitting to do this guy. I'm using a bunch of double pointed needles, and then I am going to go in rounds and work on that. And last but not least, I am going to be doing this elegant headscarf. This is going to be for my child. They requested this particular color. I love making these headscarves. This is a headscarf that is made by, let's see, let me get their name, because they gave me permission to make stuff with it and everything. Sunflower Cottage Crochet. I fell in love with this headscarf that she designed, and it is also a free pattern, but it is you can also buy the pattern to download and print. I've made so many of these headscarves now that it's kind of insane, and I actually got permission from the designer. I messaged her because that's what you do. You message the designer to tell you about about any questions and stuff, and I messaged her because I wasn't sure if I would be allowed to sell any of the final products, because I mean, this is gorgeous. This is going to be very long. It's a gorgeous stitch, and it's really easy to work out, and I've made one that I wear practically all the time. Let me grab that, actually. This one is what I wear all the time. As you can see, very long. It's about 58 inches, give or take, and it's this stitching all the way throughout. So I love it, and I know that there's a lot of people in my life that love it too. So my thought is that the last half hour, I'm just going to work on this guy because it's an easy project to work on as I'm wrapping up some things. And I guess let's just get started. First and foremost, I'm going to move some of this stuff to the side so that I have some room to work. Alright, here we go. The yarn that I'm using for this is Big Loop's Facet yarn, and I've lost the color names for them, but they are pretty easy to find. I didn't use Facet before, and my partner decided that they wanted to make this. Oh, I need the. One second. I realized I forgot. I have a paper that has notes on when to change the color. You're going to see a little bit of my craft cart. That's where I decided to place everything on, because a white background helps with keeping things easy to find. And I know that in here I've got the card that I'm looking for, unless I moved it somewhere else. I might have moved it somewhere else. Oh no. That's okay. I'm pretty sure. Oh, nope, here it is. Found it. But yes, I have this card that I'm using for tracking because my partner wanted it to be multiple colors, but they told me to kind of play around with how the colors would work, and so I'm gonna do that. I am using a 3.5 hook size in order to crochet this project because that is the recommended hook size according to the pattern. Michael's Big Loops Facet yarn, so it's got a very fluffy material here. And then I have, I'm gonna just keep my pen handy, and I'm basically just going to be working on this until an hour passes or I finish the project, and then I'll move on to the next one. That's gonna kind of be the process, I believe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of put a little bit of a timer on the tablet that I have where I'm looking at where I'm going to be looking at patterns anyway. I'm just going to quickly put a clock on because that way I can see how long an hour has been, and that way you can also hear the hour. And I'm hoping that if we can get some discussions or talks, it'll be fun. All right, so 1 hour starting now. Okay. For now, let's just work on this dragon scale glove. I'm just gonna pull out the pattern because it's a pretty easy pattern to master. It wasn't too difficult. It's more so getting used to the stitch that I was doing. But good news is it should be completely fine. So I'm going to finish off row 12, which is the row right when the crocodile stitches should be finishing. I ended it here because this is where I'm going to start, I'm going to bring the purple in. So for those who know what I mean by that, you'll probably see what you'll probably understand exactly what it is that I'm saying. So I am just going to stitch in here. Haha. Wait. It's been a hot minute since I last oh yes, it is a slip stitch. It's been a while since I last worked on this project because of other projects that I've been working on and other life stuff, but I'm glad to finish this up because my partner has been wanting these gloves for a little bit. I actually made a pair of my own a little while ago, and my kid also has a pair that they stole from me, my first ever pair, which made me sad because I used all my favorite colors and put it in, made it work out, and everything was good, and then my kid was like, I want that, and I'm like, of course you do, because I love it. And I don't know where they lost. I think they lost it, the pair, so I'm a little disheartened by that, but it's okay. I've got plenty of other oh, right, I should do it like this. This will be a much better option to do it. So I'm gonna just go bloop, and then that's gonna go in. And bloop. This isn't my ideal setup yet, but I'm also, I was planning on having an overhead camera, but I haven't been able to afford to get one yet, but that is a plan in the future. Right now, you guys are just on my phone, hanging out at the moment. So, it shall be fine. It's just taking a minute to get there, you know? Okay. So now we're gonna go rows 13 through 27 with this color changing thing that I am doing. So let's just get this started. But yes, I guess I'll get started on this. 1, 2, 3. And every time that I think of something to say, I'll probably mention it to, I'll mention what I'm thinking about while I am working. But since I am also working on this actively, and it does require some level of concentration, there might be moments where you just see the work being done rather than me talking. Because, yeah, that's how it goes. 1, and oh no. That's the one thing about this facet yarn that is hard, is that it's very slick. It's very easy to fray. I found out recently that this is more of a knitting yarn, so I'm a little sad that I ended up with a knitting yarn for a crochet project because it is not the most viable, but my partner really liked the colors and they liked the feel of the yarn, so I said, okay, I'll do it. Alright, 3 double crochets in the middle of the skip. And yes, I do like this color combination, definitely. I understand why they chose it. It is actually very complementary with each other. And one of the things that I'll do as a way to like wrap up this project is to weave in the ends, and then I'll do a quick little try on, and then I'll set them aside to show my partner afterwards. If my partner ends up hopping on here and seeing them, then awesome, but they might not because I don't believe that they have Twitch. I could be wrong, but yeah, I'll save it for them later. And then I just repeat this 4 times. Bingo. Okay, so there's that. 1, 2, and 3. And then 1, 2, and 3. One, two, and 3. Get some yarn loose so that I'm not tugging too bad. So then it does 1, 1, 2. Okay, so then it'll be, this is the second one. And 3. Oh, lost a stitch. You see what I mean by it being slick? It flies off of the crochet hook so easily. I don't have too many issues with things flying off too much, but sometimes. Sometimes I do. Um, I've been doing crochet and knitting off and on for a while now. Not to age myself, but it's been at least a couple decades. But I always stopped doing the skill because of things that people would say about my projects, or ways that people would belittle me about things, or then life gets in the way and I can't do it. And then I find myself getting back into it and picking it up like no problem, and I appreciate it. And only recently have I been able to feel confident enough to share most of the work that I do again, because of how often I had issues with people not liking that I do things a specific way, or yeah, things like that. So there's one. Let's see. Let's just make sure that we're doing it correctly. So there's 1, 2, 3, one last one, and that'll be 4 here. And I figured it would be nice to find more of a community of people that wanted, to do this and interact with someone like me who is just passionate about the fiber arts as well as other things. I very much love yarn and everything that can happen with yarn. I am not much of a person who can draw. I've never considered myself an artist by that regard, but over time I've realized that being someone who works with yarn makes you an artist, and I was kind of told a lot that it doesn't count, you're a creator, you're a crafter instead. But no, I would say that fiber artist is probably the type of artistry that I do when it comes to creating things. I may not necessarily be good at like watercolor, pencils, or other things like that, but I do consider this as art, definitely. Okay, and then I'm going to chain 8, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and okay, and 8. Might also be a little bit of the nerves because I am a little. I have a. I do feel a little anxiety today, but that's okay. Oh, look at that. First time chat, and they're trying to get things to happen. I think that's spam. I should probably get a moderator going on here. I have an auto moderator, but I don't have a moderator yet. I should probably look into that at some point. But that's okay. This is still the first. This is the first stream, so of crafting. So I don't know who is going to be available, but we shall see. Then I'm gonna take this guy because yes, I am. I'm gonna take this guy because of the color change. Because my partner wants it to be kind of like a fade, as you can see on this glove. It goes only purple. Bye. It goes only purple, and then this line of green, then purple, then green. But as you can see, the purple starts to get smaller and the green starts to get bigger until it gets to the bottom where it's just green. So I'm basically doing the inverse of that with the other glove where it's going to be green and then purple, then green, then purple, and then it'll end with purple. So, yay! So yeah, I'm going to take this guy because I am now going to slip stitch into this place here. 1, 2, 3, and in the first DC, right? First DC, which is here, and then I'm just gonna slip stitch. Oh no, I'm not making a DC. I am slipping a DC. Big difference. I know how to create. I am a creator. It's okay. It's the nerves. I had a little bit of anxiety today because of a number of things. So the fact that I am on here doing things is actually good and will keep me off some of the stuff that's making me quite anxious, which will help in the long run. Okay. My yarn ball just kind of went flying that way, so might help with elongating things, but you know. Okay, just marking because I have a terrible memory. I want to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. So then the next the next 3 stitches, the next 3 rows are going to be the green again. So I'm just gonna work through that. To the next space. So slip stitch into the next space. Here we go. And then chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then 3 double crochet in the same space. I have been getting into other forms of fiber arts recently, especially. I started weaving. I only have a tapestry loom, but that's okay. I do plan on getting a rigid heddle at some point because I like the style of that, and I would love to be able to do more with that too. And then at some point I'm also doing felting, embroidery, and other things too. But my main work that I've done is in crochet and knitting. My plan is eventually I'm going to set up a Ko-fi to attach to here of anything that I finish on stream that it will be for sale so that you guys can see what I've been working on, including those elegant headscarves by Sunflower Cottage Crochet, because I think that those are really gorgeous, and I've already gotten someone who is interested in buying one, so I kind of just want to make sure that I can get those available for the site too, and that way people can buy things that I make if they really like it. And I don't really make the same things over and over again. Sometimes I do when I find something that I really enjoy, or if I'm making a bunch of small things for people in my life, like fingerless gloves, because I just noticed that this particular stream I'm working on 2 gloves and a headband, and the headscarves I'm actually gonna make a whole bunch of because I love the headscarves, but the rest is are gloves, but that's mostly because of the type of projects that am doing right now. I have other projects as well, but I figured I'd just show off the 3 that I will be doing on stream today, and then more will be showed off depending on when I finish things. And if I get people interacting in here, I'll probably be like, hey, vote on what project I will work on during a stream rather than just working on it on my own time, you know? Should be fun. I'm already enjoying it. There's something very relaxing and good about doing stitches like this. It feels nice. Right, yes. Do 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 do. Don't mind me. I am just not sure what to say. But like I said, this is probably what's going to happen a lot of the time. I'll work and then I'll kind of go quiet as I'm focusing on a specific part. You're kind of just seeing the process of how I deal with things. And I can make conversation, but then there will be moments where I'll just kind of teeter off and focus on this. Alright, this one's the fun one because this is creating the thumb hole, and so I'm just going to, they say 3 double crochet and then chain 1 and then 3 double crochet and then double crochet into the joining piece here. So I'm just gonna do that here. 1, 2, and 3, then I chain 1, and then it's 1 and 2 and 3. So that will hit there, and then once I connect the 2, it's gonna be double crochet in first space, so over here, and then slip stitch the top, which is here. Oh, here it is. Yeah, once I get, my plan is to get something called a document scanner, which is a type of camera that does overhead, and it has a light attached to it, and it helps with clarity and stuff like that. So my plan is, because I am a PNG tuber, I would have my avatar kind of dancing in the corner over here, but I don't have that camera yet. I want to, though, so my goal is I'm going to get that camera, and I'm going to get the camera, and then I'm going to use that to stream on so that you can see my avatar as I do things too. But for now, this is kind of the best of all scenarios. I'm eventually going to save up for it, so no big deal. Okay, slip stitch into next space, so that will be this guy. Bloop. And then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, double crochet in same space, 1, and then 2 in the next space. Okay. trying not to like do anything that has a specific song in case I get notified of issues. But you know, that's just sometimes you do it without realizing it. But I'm doing my best. And 3 in this one. 2. Whoop. 1, 2. Then third one. There we go. And then 2 in the next 2, and then 3 after that. Okay, so. My partner has been waiting on these gloves for a little while, so I'm glad to start really working on them. Anything that I don't finish today, I'll probably save for the next stream. I'll make adjustments of like items accordingly, depending on like deadlines and when certain gifts are expected, or when I suddenly have the tools for a project come in or something along those lines. So it's not going to be a perfect storm, but my hope is to work on the same projects, and that way it kind of works as like you guys keep me accountable for finishing up certain projects, especially if I've been delaying on them because, ooh, shiny new project to work on. So yeah, I'm kind of going to try to get as much of each project done on stream as possible instead of doing it all off stream. I guess the only thing that I'm not going to guarantee is going to be the same each time would be the headscarves, because I work a little bit on those every single day, since it's usually super easy for me to do, and I could do it while watching shows with my family and doing stuff with friends and other things like that. So it kind of gives me something to fidget with while I am doing things. So that one is, hold on a second. Yeah, it's 15. And then, oh, okay, I see. And then, oh, yeah, and do it again. Okay. But yeah, so if I don't finish these gloves on this stream, which I might not, I would like to. I definitely would like to, but I also know that that's not necessarily going to be the case, because you know, an hour is a good amount of time to work on something, but sometimes you need a little bit more than that to finish up something. And since I have a lot of other projects going on, and I'm talking and I'm having to pause a lot, you know, things like that, it might not necessarily be enough to finish it, but we shall see. I'm just gonna do my best. That's the whole point, right? 1, 2, 3. So then I put you through here. Ba-da-bum. And don't mind my nails. I am a habitual picker of nails. I have a tendency to pick them when I am anxious, and I have been anxious, especially in recent years. In fact, I think most of my life I am an anxious person. So finding me on a day where I'm not having intense anxiety is a rare day. So yeah, there's that. Perfect. That's number 2 of the color change part. Perfect. Next is 16, row 16. And then it's just 2 double crochets in every space across. So simple enough. Okay. So then slip stitch into space here. So slip stitch. Oh no. See, that's something that happens with this yarn a lot with crochet hooks. I'm guessing if I knit with these, it'll be a lot easier. But I can't. I'm using this for a crochet project. And then I just DC here, and then I just go around with each space and just do 2 double crochets. And at the end of this one is a color change, so I'm going to do that. Ooh, ba-dum, ba-dum. And that's 2. I don't know if I should name the Ko-fi shop anything in particular or not. I'm guessing I'm just going to call it like my channel name for now, and then if I really feel up for like going above that, you know, I might name it something, but I don't know yet if I will. That's sort of something I'm just figuring out. I figured if I just document this journey, put it out there, maybe get people interacting with it, not only will I spark some ideas off of my noggin, but also you know, doing something and actually getting out there, because that's the scariest part about this entire journey that I'm on, is putting myself out there. And that means that I have to consider things differently, and if I do this part, it'll be easier to do the rest of it. So yeah. I almost feel like I should put some music on, but I can't because I don't want to have issues with copyright music and stuff like that. Plus, I have my headphones on, and those are connected to the computer, so it's really difficult to have anything play for you guys to hear anyway. And I just want to make sure that I'm, you know, not causing issues with something that I'm trying, you know. Okay. I'm almost all the way there, so got 1, 2, 3 more spaces. Okay. Yeah, there's 2 more. I'm already up to 50% of my follower goal, which is awesome. Thank you, friends. Yesterday I hit 5 followers, which is kind of crazy. I am so excited to start building this community with people properly. And I am just really excited. I really am. this is a part of what I do, so I love being able to share things that I'm passionate about with people. And then, yes. Now it's time for the next change. Yes, this is time for the next change. So I'm just gonna slip this guy into, what was it? Slip into the next space. Okay, so that'll be here. And yeah, I'll be fixing this after. I just have to work it out. So the next 2 rows that I'm doing are going to be with this purple yarn. And then, let's see, chain 3, 1, alright, tighten you up so that it's a little tighter, there we go, 1, 2, and 3. Once I get that overhead camera, that will help you guys see it a lot more without me having to go at kind of a weird angle. God, no, don't do that. Yeah. This is the part of the learning experience. You're figuring things out as you go. You're getting things taken care of. Yeah. There's 2. And then I think we're doing... yeah, we're skipping the next space, so not you, but you are going to be 3. And you are also going to be 3. And I'm going to, once I finish working these out, the next part of it would be weaving everything in, which is everyone's favorite part of making the patterns. Alright. That's one done. Now let's do this a couple more times, because we need to do it next 3 stitches. 2, and then 3rd one. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Here we go. Then I think it's skip next space and then do that again. So we'll do 3 double crochets in 3 spaces. And that will be good. I hope that this isn't annoying too many people with just talking it out, but I figured that since this is a stream about making things, that me having to kind of talk it out, like what I'm working on or what I'm doing, isn't too offensive and problematic, and might be pretty relatable for some people, because I have a tendency to need to speak out loud everything that I'm doing. Why? Because of my brain. My brain does that. A lot of brains do that, but my brain especially does that. Sometimes I just need to say things out loud because, yeah. Oh yeah, the camera that I'm looking to get to has a light attachment to it anyway, so that will also help with you guys seeing what I'm working on. Like seeing the actual stitches and the work that I'm doing and other things. There we go. That way it's not as dark or not defined enough for the screen and for people watching. I guess I did that 3, and then I skip, and then I do it the next 2 stitches, do 2 spaces. Yeah, the last 2. Perfect. But yeah, if I make this a weekly thing, it'll be easy to get through my projects more quickly, because I do work on things on in my off time, but shiny new project energy always does its thing, you know. Two and 3. Perfect. I should have pulled from the center. Why did I not do that? Alright, now it's on to the next row, and the next few rows are basically going to be the same thing over and over again until the last 2. So most of the hard work that's going to go into this is going to actually be the color changing part rather than the row itself. So be prepared. We might be able to get more of this done. I only have 20 minutes left. I haven't gotten very much done. Oh no. It's okay. We're all doing our best here. Okay, let's see. Slip stitch next space. That is you. Slip stitch next space. That's you. That's what I told you. Chain 3 and double crochet in the same space. You got it. And now, 3 double crochet in each space around until we get to this space. Also got it. So every single space around is 3 double crochets, which is quite easy to do because I just have to do the same motion over and over and over again until I get to the end. That should speed the process up a little bit more. Here we go, here we go. I love it when it gets easy like this for at least a little while. But this is going to be the same stitch that I do over and over and over again, like I said. The hardest part of this next few rows is the color changing aspect. So hopefully I'll get quite a few rows done before I work on the next project. I wouldn't call myself a fast maker. I would consider myself on average, if not on the slow side, but there are some moments where I would say that I can move pretty quickly. I'm still figuring out how the weaving works too, but I do have other forms of making things, so you're not just going to be seeing a lot of knit and crochet, but that's primarily what is being shown right now because of the types of projects that I am working on at this moment. There will be more variety in the future, I'm sure. Then this is the first space, so now I just need to do a starting D sheet, 1 double crochet in the original space. And then I join this at the top of the chain 3 that I did earlier, which is going to then get us into the next color part. So 1, 2, and 3. Don't mind me, just getting this done. And then I'm just going to slip through and then tighten both threads. This is something people forget when they change colors, is to tighten both threads. Sometimes I have to manually remind myself. And then we just move this aside, and we'll continue with green for 2 rows. So same thing. This was space here. It's going to be a slip. And then chain 3, then double crochet in same stitch, and then 3 double crochets in every stitch all the way around till we get back to the end. Pretty easy, this part. This is the length of the glove, obviously, so this part is supposed to be a little bit more tedious because you're working out the length of the glove. Just get some more of that yarn up here. I'll have to adjust some things to make it work out. You know, surprisingly, I have gotten pretty good at talking to myself over the years. That just means that I'm practicing for when people come here. I'm sure more engagement will equal more cool things too. I'm very excited to see how many people will join me on sessions like this, and who knows? Who knows what this is actually going to open up for me. I'm keeping an open mind. Are you open-minded? I do like to quote things a lot, which might get me in trouble, but it's okay. I'm gonna try to keep it at a minimum. I also like making a lot of jokes that have a tendency to be for people like me that watch a lot of movies and shows. Just randomly pull quotes out my butt. Because that's what you do. You pull quotes out the butt. Alright. And then DC in the same stitch as the first one, and then slip stitch the top of the chain, which is 1, 2, and 3. I don't need that. I just need to put push through. Here we go. Yay. Okay. Now we just need another of the green, and then we switch colors again. Wait, I messed up. There we go. Slip stitch in the next stitch, which is here. There's one. And now I do what I was planning on doing. I jumped the gun a little bit. Slip stitches are always hard to remember when to do them, unless you've been doing the same pattern over and over again. But yeah. This is my third time making these dragon scale gloves, and this is the first time that I'm alternating colors. Usually with this pattern, they recommend using like a variegated or multicolor yarn to put a bunch of colors throughout it, since switching is always a little fun. But yeah. So this is, yeah, my third time doing it. I used a couple of big twist yarn before Joann's closed for the other two that I made. One of them was Big Twist Rave, and it was this beautiful like blue green like vibrant yarn, and hence my child loved it because I loved it, and they were like, I'm gonna wear these now, and I'm like, okay. So then I made another set from the other one, which wasn't as pretty, but it's still nice. And then my partner's like, I kind of want those. And I'm like, okay, we can make that work. No worries. And so, that's the best thing about being able to make things, in my opinion, is being able to share the final products with people that you care about. Plus, this does help with focus and intentions and other things too. So I very much appreciate being able to do the work that I do with this. It was raining a whole bunch today, which was really nice. There was some thunderstorm warnings, and I was like, yes, give me those thunderstorms, because I love thunderstorms. They very much relax me, and the energy that I feel in the air during thunderstorms is sometimes, not to be a punster, but I do like to do puns, but it's a very powerful, booming kind of feeling, and I get it. It's funny, right? So, yeah. Then I'm gonna switch colors after this, so I'm just gonna quickly double crochet here, and then slip stitch with the purple yarn into the top of the chain. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Then slip all the way through and tighten both. There we go. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this up today. I thought I was going to, but I am just checking, and I only have like 7 minutes left. So, on my timer. So, I'll just get as far as I can today. The next, how many? Oh, it's going to be 1, and then 1, and then 2. Okay. So, sounds good. Okay. So now we're doing the purple. It's going to be slip stitch to the next space. See, you're catching me. I'm catching myself. We're all catching each other. Look at us go. Learn from our mistakes, even if I make the same mistake over and over again. This is how crafting works. You forget how to count, you forget where things are, and you forget how to function, and you're like, I know what I'm doing. Sometimes I wonder if I actually know what I'm doing. It's a daily concern sometimes. Yeah. Okay. Getting a bit done, though. This is definitely a lot of progress still. I'm always proud of progress, because sometimes you just need a little bit of progress to make things worthwhile, even if it's only a few minutes a day that you work on things. So for me, at least 1 hour on a project a week, if I'm not already working on it anyway, is a good idea. This is a designated time where I can work on it despite what life throws at me. Because sometimes I will not be able to do very much, but that's okay. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the yarn after I'm done with this. I might just store it and in case something happens to the gloves, or I will use it somewhere else, but I kind of don't really like this yarn, so I might not be using it for much else. If anything, I'll probably use it for knitting projects, because I did find out that I think it's supposed to be a knit yarn, not a crochet yarn, which I get it, I do, but yeah. Just make an adjustment here. Yeah. Double crochet back here again, and then slip stitch with the green, because now it's two separate, now it's one and then one, and then after that it's gonna be more purple than green. So then will be you. Two and three. It'll be fun when my little avatar is bouncing around as I'm talking, while you can see my hands work, because I think that it'll be really funny. A very interesting experience as well for me. And I did a stream yesterday where I was mostly productive, and so I got to play around more with that. But unfortunately, I had lost the VOD to that, so that stream is, I think, forever lost in the ether now, which is okay. It's fine. You know, you do what you gotta do, right? Now let's do another one. Okay, let's see. This. 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I think this one's number 9. Yeah. Okay. I've only made these 3 times now, so I should know what I'm doing most of the time. Which I do. I do know what I'm doing for the most part, because I have done this a couple of times, which is why I feel confident being able to do the color change and whatnot. It's other patterns I have to watch out for. And then you'll get to see me struggle. But that's okay. Like the naughty gloves, I don't know those ones very well, so I've only just started them and I haven't been able to practice them on anything else, but that's what this project technically is for practicing, because I have a number of gloves I'm testing out to see which one would be best for a specific birthday present for someone that I know, and I have a bit of time before then, so what I'm doing is I'm going over some of the glove patterns for that. Oh, that is the timer. The timer just went off. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up this row, and then I will we'll go over the results. But yes, the naughty gloves, I am planning on working at least one glove to see if we like it. I have a couple of other glove choices that I'm thinking about doing as well, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the gloves of the patterns that I have, because they're free patterns, most of them at least. So I'm going to work on those and see how I'm feeling about those, and then depending on what we end up deciding, it might end up being a that glove, or it might be one of the other gloves that I've tried out. And so before we invest in buying specific yarn colors or types in order to do this project, I just would like to make sure that we are in agreement, because I am technically being asked to do this as like a commission. So I have someone else kind of helping me make decisions on this, right? So yeah. Alright, let me just finish this up, and then it'll be another color change. And I'm gonna just go to the top here, slip it in. Come on, you can do it. There we go. And then you're done. Get you slipped through. Slip through, please. Of course, once they realize that I'm finishing up, it's going to be even more difficult than normal. And there we go. Okay, so let's do a comparison then. So I haven't been able to touch on this glove yet. I didn't get to finish both of them, so this is still the leftover glove. And we started, if you remember at the beginning of the stream, we started with just the fingerless parts here, and now we have the thumb hole and a good chunk of the colored work done already. They'll be about the same size soon. That's not bad. That's actually coming out pretty nice. I am happy with that. That's a good amount of work done in an hour's time. And again, this is the Dragon Gloves Yarnivore UK pattern. It's a free pattern, so you can find it on Ravelry, on their site. wherever you get patterns. I found this went on Pinterest so many years ago and saved it, and then I rediscovered it and then found the actual pattern, and yeah. So now that that's done, I'm going to put this aside so that we can do the next part. Don't mind me, I'm just going to move some stuff around because my yarn ball fell over and onto the floor like an imbecile. Don't mind me. Alright, next up. This is the yarn for the glove that I'm currently working on right now. I'm mostly just going to work on one, like I said, one glove. And this is a knit pattern, specifically knit in the round. I'm using double pointed needles. These are, I believe, a size 4. Let me double check. Yeah, these are like a size 4. These are a size 4, and it basically we knit in the round here until we get to the part. This is literally the beginning. Like, I cast it on, and then I did, now is the busy work, which is to knit this until it's about 6 centimeters. So let me get my measuring tape out. I got, this is 6 centimeters. So yeah, I barely even have a single centimeter with this one. So this is mostly going to be the same pattern, back and forth, over and over again, until we hit 6 centimeters, which is just, it's a purl 2 knit 2, I believe is what we were doing, because it's dependent on which glove we're doing. So I think which, like, side of the glove, you know? So I think we were doing purl 2 knit 2, not knit 2 purl 2. So I'm going to work on this for about an hour. So let me get the timer up for about an hour. I can't believe we're already on for it. We've been on for about an hour. Yoo-hoo! Look at me go. Okay, hour set, and let's do it. Okay, so like I said, this is the Naughty Glove by Julia Mueller, or Laris is also what she's known on as on Ravelry. And the yarn that I have here is a cotton acrylic blend from Michaels. Sometimes I'll shop at Michaels, sometimes I won't. A lot of the yarn that I have right now is from Michaels because of proximity to me. But there will be other types of yarn too. Like, I have a few different accounts with different things going on with different yarn companies too. It's mostly just the fact that Michaels is in close proximity, and I was able to get a bunch of things taken care of. So, alright, here we go. Let's get started. I'm going to put you to the side here, and then we're just going to purl and knit back and forth until we hit 6 centimeters of yarn for the ribbing. I very much enjoyed. I actually did this method to, I did other gloves for my kid and my partner because of Christmas time stuff, and I actually am planning on finishing up those gloves for other people in my life that I've already designated I'm going to do things with. Look at me not knowing how to purl again. This is what happens when you go from knit to crochet to knit. You forget how to knit properly, and then it takes a second for you to rewire your brain. Curse you, brain. Yeah, I originally got this black cotton yarn for a different project, but then I realized it wasn't going to work because of the project I was specifically looking to do. But I had already bought it, so I was like, well, shoot, what am I going to do with this? And so I decided, since I was planning on working on this, and it was the same size of yarn that I needed for it, I'm like, you know what, that works too. So, just gonna there we go. Yeah. Sometimes I just have to double check that I'm counting correctly, because like I said, making crafts like this makes you forget how to count. You realize you don't actually know how to count because then you miscount all the time. It's quite funny. But yes, I'll work on this a bit. And this one, I'm not changing any colors yet because this is a basically like an example glove. So once I'm done with it, I'm going to be like, ooh, this is one of the glove ideas I'm going to have for the commission. And then when I finish the other gloves too, and it gets closer, we're going to choose one of the examples, and then I'm going to get the yarn specific for that, and then it'll be all good. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Yeah, okay. But if I end up liking this pattern for this glove anyway, I might just make the other half of it, so that I can have it as a pair of gloves, because you can't go wrong with a good pair of gloves, and it looks cute. So I may not have necessarily wanted just a black pair to show off like the cabling of it, but you know, it's fine. Black goes with a lot of things, so I like it. Do-do-do-do. I promise it'll look a lot less awkward when I have more of a proper setup already. It's more so the fact that it's difficult when the setup that I have is not ideal, but I'm working towards it. The main thing is getting myself out there, getting things done, and that way, once I'm finished with this, I'm going to be able to move on, improve things, and it'll be like a little, watch, I started from here and now I'm here, congratulations. You dealt with the part of me that didn't know what they were doing. And it's okay. We all have to start there. And I learn best from experience anyway, so me doing this is going to help me learn better, so then I can master it and do things more efficiently and have a better sense of how to fix things and all that other stuff. Do-do-do-do. Okay. It's kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie, watching it go. As I'm doing it, I know that I know the process of it, but my partner doesn't crochet or knit at all. And so I'll sometimes be doing something, and then I'll look over in time for them to be staring at my fingers going, what kind of witchcraft is this? It's witchcraft. But yeah, I've always loved watching people make things because it's always fun to see the process of it happening, even if you can't follow along exactly. Especially when you see like how they started and then where they are now. So we got 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So the next is the knit part. I would love to get a yarn bowl that I could just pull from and keep on the side. There's one I've had my eye on for a little bit, but other things first. Other things first. We'll see what happens or how I can get that taken care of. Oh crap, I lost count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay. 13. And that's also why I'm allowing myself that I can mess up with this one, because it's an example glove. It's not the actual glove going to the person. So I can make mistakes and have learning issues with it, because this isn't the final product that I'm getting asked to do. I can mess up and be a little bit more relaxed with it. But this is a learning glove, so I'm pretty happy with that. Ta-da! That's another one done. Okay. Maybe I will hit the whole 6 centimeters by the end of an hour. That'd be pretty neat. Moving on to the next part of it. I would not mind that one bit. getting this done is fascinating. I am learning a lot by doing this for sure. I'm learning that I'll need to adjust how things are done on my end on specifically recording, at least for the foreseeable future, because I won't be doing this again until next week, this particular setup, but that's okay. You know what, let's make some adjustments because, well, I'm thinking about them. It's probably a good idea. I'll have to, I'm making an adjustment so that I can see, still see when, make sure that you guys are able to see the stitches, but it was a very awkward angle for my hands, and because of the angle that I was sitting at. But I don't know if that's much better. I mean, it's a little better. It's a little better. It's definitely a learning experience for me, that's for sure. That's another full round done. First full round done. Yay! How long did that take me? Let's check. Oh! That only took me 15 minutes. Sweet. So, I'll play around with this while on stream actively, but I'll also play around during the next stream too on how I want to position the camera and other things like that, so then it doesn't take too long. Actually, let's quickly measure. So from that point to this point, that's, yeah, a little over a centimeter. I'm not good at eyeballing how many centimeters something is. It's really difficult. But yeah, that's 6 centimeters, like that. So we're about here. So not very much, but that's why this one is probably going to be more like fast work, because it's going to be more busy work of doing the same 2 stitches in the same pattern over and over until I get to that amount. Usually I pull it up closer to kind of T-Rex arm hold it, but I don't want to do that with this, so with the stream. So I am learning new ways to hold as well, so then it's easy for me to share. And that's the whole point of this, right, is to experiment and see what works and what doesn't work. And if I don't improve, then I'm not going to go anywhere, right? Wait. 2, 4. Yeah, no, I was right. I'm being silly. Get that up a little bit more. Yeah, I'm just mostly following the pattern exactly so that I know kind of what to go for, and then I'll make more improvisations if I decide to work with this one over and over again. I lost count again. This is how it goes. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay, I know where I'm at. Alright, I usually go with the same 4 needles unless stated otherwise. Yeah, I like using these knitting needles. They're decent. They get a little slippery at times, but they work for what they're supposed to do. I'm planning on getting more like well done, because these I just got from Joann's before they closed. I believe they were Joann brand needles. These were either from Joann or Michael's, and I got them like forever ago, so yeah, there's that. And I have a couple pairs of circular needles too, but those are for specific things that I already have assigned to them. So I believe these guys said 2, 6, to use double pointed needles or round needles of a specific variety, and I don't believe I have the cable needles size for this particular project. I think I have it for others, but not this one. Yeah. And we're trying to like move, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. We're trying to move, so we are actually trying to move to a different area. So for my schooling, I am going to school, and I just got accepted into one of the schools in the area that we're trying to move to. And we don't live too far from it, but we live far enough away from it that it doesn't make a lot of people would be like, that doesn't make sense, why are you going to this school? But we're trying to move closer. But because of how economy is, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Because of how the economy is, I live in the Midwest, and it isn't the best economy, and where we're trying to move to, there's a lot of housing issues anyway, but we are wanting to move to the area for not just my schooling, but for a couple of other things personal to us. And that's also where my nearest support system is, because we don't live by anyone that is a good support system, at least not in this area. And my family all lives outside of the state that I live in. The closest person to who is of my family and my support system in that regard that is closest to us is like a 12-hour drive. So, yeah, So I want to move closer to my support system that is in the area, which is only an hour drive from here. So, but unfortunately, trying to move out there has been a struggle, a big struggle. I'm gonna check on, after this round, I'm probably gonna check to see how much I have grown it, but we shall see. I don't know if I'll make a point to check every single round, but at least a little bit. And you know what? I might not check this round. I'll probably check the next round because there's no way that we're that much closer to the 6 centimeters. But yeah, so we're trying to move to that area, but it's been really difficult because a lot of the people that are trying to rent things out have these intense regulations on how to afford things, and that they won't even accept you unless you make, what was it, like 3 times the rent of the property that you're trying to go to, which in and of itself is not a bad thing. Like, I agree that people should be like, oh yeah, we make more than the rent per month by a certain amount because it keeps from being house broke, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. But another thing that is coming up because of that, though, is the fact that my partner and I, the money that we make together is enough to not only take care of rent, but also have a bit extra. And it isn't like a crazy amount extra, but it's enough that we can easily delegate it to utilities and groceries and basic living expenses, plus anything that I do extra, especially with going to school and stuff, like getting the specific grants and financial aid and other things like that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay. It allows us to have a little bit more flexibility too, because I'm able to make a little extra cash and everything too. And I do plan on streaming a little bit here and there to see if I can maybe earn even more cash, even if I don't really get much money on here. It's giving me an excuse to sit down and do the work that I'm trying to do to earn a little cash anyway. So it just kind of all ended up working out, right? So unfortunately, because of how my income works, they don't like counting it because in my off time I am also a 1099 worker. I do delivery driving for Shipped, and I have to have been working with Shipped for like 2 years in order for them to count it for most apartment complexes. So they don't count my income. And in the area, unfortunately, the rent is also a bit on the high side, as it is for a lot of people. I can't say that it's just that area thing, but it's definitely very noticeable in that area. So the state of the economy, rent prices are skyrocketing, but income is not able to keep up. You know how it is. And we have been struggling to find a place to take us because of the fact that even if we're like, oh no, we've got the money, it's fine and everything, they don't like to count it because of the status of my employment or the status of a couple of other things happening. So we're kind of like, well, crap. That makes no sense, but at the same time I get it. So I'm kind of having to work on moving while also trying to do things and going to school. And I've had to do it all basically remotely and drive into the area to get certain paperwork done and everything too. And I'm hoping that with starting school and stuff like that, they'll have more resources as well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, yeah, perfect. But it's been a lot. It's been a point of stress for me. So yeah. But I am working hard. My partner's working hard to make sure we can do the thing. It's just there's a lot of things that we have to figure out and work through. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And luckily we have a place that we can stay, but it's also kind of cramped for our family unit, so we're kind of wanting to move out the sooner the better, because we all need our space, and right now it's very tight. So we're doing the best we can with the situation we've got, but it would be nice if things were able to change. Oh no! How did that happen? I put on Do Not Disturb for a reason. Stinking phone. Hold on. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I just had to double check because it went off because one of the people that is allowed to message me when I have Do Not Disturb on messaged me. Nothing frantic, nothing problematic, but it apparently knocked it off because I have had to jerry-rig my phone up with a specific thing in order to show what I'm doing so I can use my hands, and it's a little precarious, so the slightest vibration could knock it off, and it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of sad. Okay, that's looking pretty good though. I am feeling quite confident in how this is turning out. I like it. I like it a lot. We're doing it. Okay. I'm sure it'll be so much more entertaining once my avatar is on screen, but, you know. Until I get that camera, this is where we're at. It'll happen. No worries. It'll happen. Regardless of the source, it's going to happen. Yeah. Wow, I've already been streaming for almost 2 hours. Good job, me. This is awesome. Well, considering how much I chatted in the beginning, I might not have enough time to work on the elegant headscarf yet, but we'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling after this hour is done. We'll check on time and see how much longer I would like to be on here, just to get a vibe of plans. 2, 4, 6, 8. Perfect. Yes. There's just a lot of things happening in my life. But that's why this is good for me, is because I can sit and work on things, and I'm one of those people that I need to fidget a lot because of, I have sensory issues, and I I am neurodivergent, so I have a tendency to need to fidget a lot. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, perfect. I have a tendency to fidget a lot and kind of need to do something with my hands. And that's why I end up picking my nails a lot, because it's a form of dealing with sensory issues as well as anxiety and stuff, which I do have too, unfortunately. So I've been using knit and crochet as like a way to deal with my fidgets a lot, and it has helped in the long run. But unfortunately, it also limits on how much I can watch at a time, because I'm usually staring down at my work, especially when I'm doing a pattern I don't know very well. So a lot of the shows that I like to watch, I watch with subtitles all the time, and I also love watching anime. So I tend to I prefer to watch the sub version versus the dubbed version of anime. That's just a personal preference of mine. Because of how the translation work is and stuff like that. So there's like some that I will watch both the dub and the sub if I like it enough, that I'll be like, yeah, I'll watch both. But I don't always do that. It very much depends on the show. So I have a tendency to watch things that require me to read the subtitles and not understand if I don't read the subtitles, because I enjoy a lot of foreign films, and I am not proficient enough in the language that I can watch it happen and then not need to read the subtitles at the same time. But that's what the elegant headscarf is for, technically, because it's simple enough and repetitive enough that I've actually been able to memorize the pattern without needing to keep looking down at it, except just to make sure that everything is okay. So when I do look down, it's for brief instances, just to make sure everything is good, and then I can look back up, which is one reason why I'm loving making them. And the other reason is that it comes out with such a cool project that I am planning on selling at some point, which is going to be awesome. But, you know, I also know that that might not necessarily be something that happens for a little while. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, yeah. But I do have, I have the head scarf that I'm going to be making for my kid because they wanted one. And then I have someone, a friend of mine, who has asked me to make a personalized headscarf for her too. So, I actually will be getting paid for that one, which makes me happy. I told her that once I finish with my kid's headscarf, I'll work on hers. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting. And because of how busy my life is, I can, I work on a whole bunch of different kinds of projects at a time, but I don't necessarily have all the time in the world to work on a whole bunch of projects at the same time, so I have a weird delegation system that I have in order to make sure I get everything done for a reasonable time. And I'm hoping that that's what this stream will also help with, is help with making sure that I can work on these projects during times where it might be a little difficult to not to, because it'll keep me accountable for that. I'm just gonna see how much we've done so far. Yeah, that's about 2 centimeters. And we got about 20 minutes on the timer for this project. So, I might be able to get it up to the 6 centimeters by the end of the 20 minutes, depending on how fast I work. I better boogie down. like I said, I'm not a fast knitter. I'm faster at crochet than I am at knitting, but I think that's kind of a yeah, no, duh thing, because a lot of people are that crochet are super fast, and knitting is more so the slow process one. But that's okay. And then depending on, like I said, depending on the day, it'll be different kinds of projects that I'll be working on, but I figured this is a great way to work on the backlog of projects. And of course, if I have like a pressing project, it will also help to have a dedicated weekly stream to help with like crunch time. So certain projects I'll probably be like, oh no, I have to get this done ASAP, so work with me here. But yeah, for now it's more so just getting this done. Yeah, let's get more yarn out. I don't know why I was so insane as to wind the balls of yarn and not pull from the center when I started these. I don't know what I was on. What that I was on about worth doing that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay. Not entirely sure why I did that. All I know is that I did, so now I'm dealing with the consequences. I guess I thought that that was Future Me's problem, or I just wasn't thinking. It could be either. Damn it, I lost count again. Part of my cussing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay. I actually cuss a lot, but I'm trying to refrain for the most part while actively streaming, unless that is the vibe of the stream itself. Which, if it is, then, you know, I'll work with that. But for now, it's not necessary. Although, I have read that when you cuss, it helps you with managing pain. And I deal with pain a lot, so it makes sense to me that it actually helps with it, because it's a great way to get the expression out in a forceful manner. It's very nice. Very, very nice. Oh, you have no idea how long I've been meaning to do this. I would love to be able to put closed captions on my stream to help people hear it, because I could use closed captions on most things that I hear anyway, because I have hearing issues. Yay! Okay, let's see. Yes. Doing pretty good though. Like I said before, this is mostly just going to be the same 2 stitches over and over again until we hit a certain point. So we might not even be able to move past the purl 2 knit 2 section today, but that's okay. I've already put on a centimeter, so that's something. And I haven't touched this project in a while, so I've been meaning to. I also didn't touch my partner's gloves for a while because of other things that came up. But I had been meaning to. I told them I would try to finish it as soon as possible. And I mean to keep my promise. I'm a woman of my word, but you know, well, lots of little things happened. Crap, I lost count again. 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. If this ends up being a worse position on the camera, that's going to make things interesting. We'll see once I get my overhead camera thing figured out, and then I can play around with that. I'm sure there's another way to do this too. You'll just have to bear with me. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay. But we're getting there. We're getting there. So next week it might end up being a completely different style of shot, depending on what I figure out. Because, yeah, I want to make sure that it can be seen, but that I'm also not disrupting anything by not having it angled correctly and doing the weird thing with it. You know, I just want to make sure that it's done correctly. Come on, adjust. That's looking pretty good, I have to say. I'll do a close-up at the end after the hour mark so that you guys can see the stitches and the ridging. It's looking nice. I like it. Yeah, this is my first time knitting this particular style of glove, but I have made a couple of winter gloves. I crocheted one set of winter gloves a while ago, and then I've knitted in a similar style to this 3 pairs of gloves with a simple pattern, and now this is the first one that has like cabling attached to it that I'm like, okay, gotta figure out how that's gonna work. So this is the first of this project that I've ever done, and I don't have much experience with other gloves like this, so so far I've made a lot of gloves. I've also made hats, a couple scarves, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah. Okay. And then weaving, haven't done very much of it, but I am also a fresh beginner of it, so I will be able to do more in time. I have a method to my madness, I promise. That's another round done. Look at that. We're doing good. We're doing good. Ooh. I also have popped my back there for a second. That's what happens sometimes. Holy crap, it's already 5 o'clock. I've been streaming for 2 hours now. That's kind of crazy. In a good way. Obviously in a good way. I do plan it'll be 2.5 hours that I just work on things, and since I put the timer on for like an hour per project, and then whatever's left over I'll probably just work on the headscarves. That way you can kind of see them get made and I can show them off as I work on them. But then again, for a first stream, a first craft stream, I feel like I'm doing pretty okay. I just had to make sure. I thought I miscounted for a second. I was like, oh no, don't tell me I've miscounted. I was right. I was right. You can't fool me. I know what I'm talking about. I am an expert here. I really am not. I'm just pretty good at figuring things out. Crap. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay. I just had to double check. You know how you can doubt yourself. Making some good progress, though. I'm feeling pretty good about this. Yeah, I started learning how to knit when I was like 8. And then I got older. I kind of stopped doing it because stuff. And then years later, I started learning again, and then I stopped, and then I picked up crochet, and then it ended up being a mixture of knit and crochet over the years. But I would do the projects, and then something would happen, and I would lose my supplies. A bunch of supplies broke. Things happened, and I would lose my yarn stash. There have been times where I've had to literally start over so many times that for a while I was about to give up on ever being able to do this again, because it just felt like things kept happening to be like, stop, don't do this. But then I would do something and I would feel really good doing it, and it just ended up working out, you know? 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah. Okay. So it's been a journey, but I've been doing this off and on since I was 8 years old, and being the adult that I am now, that's quite a few years of doing this off and on. So I'm not as big of an expert as people that have been doing it since they were 8 years old consistently, but I learn pretty fast, so yes, I do. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. Okay. Always have to double check. go. Yay. Another round, I should say, because we're going in circles. Ow. Back pop. Back pop. Well, my stream yesterday also did pretty decently. I messed up a bit, but I was able to fix a few things, such as microphone stuff. I realized a few folly things with my desktop and figured out some issues that were happening, and I was embarrassed about it. And then I went to be like, you know what, this is fine. This is a learning experience. I've got this video out now. I'm going to upload it somewhere where I can learn from my mistakes here, see what I did wrong, see what I did right, see what felt right. And then I found out I lost all the entire footage. And I'm like, crap. I didn't even save it to somewhere safe. Maybe it was meant to be, I was meant to do that stream, and then it just was like, no, don't ever look back on it again, because you made a pretty intense mistake that would cause issues in the future. But the good news is I've already learned from that. So I'm hoping I think I've automatically put this to be saved after I'm done. So that will help. I don't know if I've introduced myself on here. Oops. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Well, I'm sure it'll come up in multiple streams at some point, just me doing small introductions of myself here and there, share some things about my life, share some things about, like, aspects of it that I feel comfortable to share. Because I'm not comfortable to share everything about my life on the internet, because, you know how, what they say, the internet stores things forever. And that's true. That's very true. I just want to make sure that the things I share are the things that I don't mind the internet knowing, you know? Nope, I did that wrong. Oops. Okay, I can say this. Don't worry. Watch the master of mistake making do her work. Ta-da! I did it. I saved it. I saved the stitch. I hate dropping stitches, but luckily I fixed it. I fixed it before it became a serious problem. So, good job, me. Good job, me. And good job for you for also fixing mistakes that you've realized that you need to fix. That's a whole other row done! Good job! Yay! That's a good amount of stitches there. Let's check and see how many stitches this is so far. How many centimeters have I made since starting? Almost 3 centimeters. Good job, me. How much time do I have left? 2 minutes. I think I'm gonna call it here for the, this particular one, because I'm finding out that it takes me about 15 minutes to go through a whole round, and since there was only 2 minutes left, and I still have the other, project I want to work on for the last 15 minutes, I think I could do that. But let's take a look at the progress made. As you can see, the ribbing is looking mighty nice. There's the pearls and knit alternating into nice ribs. And this is going to be the bottom of the glove, so it'll go on my wrist like that when wearing them. So that's a way. Look at that! We have grown a whole 2 centimeters from when I started this project. Good job, me. Good job. Now, the last 15 minutes, I'm just gonna work on this headscarf here. Like I said, this is going to be the easiest part of it because I'm literally doing the same motion back and forth until we hit 58 inches, which is about this whole measuring tape. This is 60 inches, so it's almost the entire thing. And I doubt that we're going to get to that in 15 minutes, but I figured I'd share. I am using a 2.5 millimeter hook, and because this is Aunt Lydia's, these are Aunt Lydia's cotton thread, and I have two separate colors that I put together and tied up into one ball. I basically just put them together and wound it, so this is counting as a 1 weight yarn, even though it's 2 0 weight yarns because it's Aunt Lydia's cotton. And I like how it's coming out. It's really nice. My kid really likes this color stuff, and their favorite color is yellow, and so they were really excited when we found that one of the colors was this golden thread. And then they got this lime green one to complement it too. So, yeah, let's get started on this. So I think that's kind of how the stream is going to be set up every week, is going to be this kind of style. I'm going to have my hands work for you guys to see. I'm going to dedicate at least an hour on each of my backlog projects. And then like 30 minutes to 15 minutes on a headscarf. That way you can kind of see the process of me working on it. Even if I end up not finishing much of it, you'll still see the progress, and then you'll probably see the final bits of it off screen. Like, I can show you the final product when it's done. But I also, like I said, I work on these while I'm watching shows with my partner and my kid, and doing things when I can keep my hands free. I can just work on this because it's so simple. I love this headscarf though. Like I said, I made one and I was instantly, pun intended, hooked. And I adore it. So when we realized I could technically sell these, I was so excited because it's like, oh, I could do something every day with this, and I can work on it every day while I am sitting around and relaxing on times when I've been done with my day. And it gives me something to do with my hands. It gives me something to work towards, and I enjoy doing it, so yay. And like I said, I plan on at some point making a Ko-fi store so that I can publish these. I might look into other places to network them as well, but Ko-fi is a pretty good service for this kind of thing, so I would much rather go with that, especially since I can attach it to my YouTube or my Twitch or whatever I end up attaching it to. So it just ends up working out that way, you know? And that will make it easy for people to utilize me and shop with me when I'm doing this. Plus, it gives me time to figure out what to call it, how much effort I could put into it, other things like that. Especially once the school year officially starts, it's gonna get hectic. Um, I'm nearing that for myself too. I'm probably gonna have a bit of a late start, but I'm doing what I can with what I got. That's all that anyone could really ask for. Yeah. Well, yay. This is looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. I am very much enjoying, like I said, I very much enjoy this, and I'm probably going to work more on this after I get off. I'm probably going to go find my partner, and we're going to probably watch something, and then while we watch something, I'm just going to quickly work on this. Because I want to get to my first commission, my first official commission. Which this technically is my first commission, because my kids specifically requested it, but I haven't had them pay for it, because they're my child, they're underage, they're not going to pay me to do that yet. Once they make their own money to do so, they can do that. But the other headscarf that I am actually going to get paid for, which is nice. I'm sure, depending on how I set up the Ko-fi page, that there might be examples on how to style these, but I tend to wear them like a tie-around headband and let the sides fall down, similar to how it is in the picture on the website for the pattern. There's other ways to do it too. I'm probably going to wear mine to Ren Fair, because we're going to go to Ren Fair with some friends. Not this weekend, nor next weekend, but like 2 weekends from now. I believe it's 2 weekends from now. I could be wrong. But yeah, I am going to be working on this, because my kid, I'm sure, will love to wear their headscarf too, but I'm going to be wearing mine. The navy blue one that I showed you, that one is a personal one that I made for myself because I love them so much, and I'm going to make a bunch for myself as well as to sell, mostly because I think that in order to sell a product that you really love, if I'm selling a product, I should love it a lot, right? So that's kind of the idea I was going for. Well, I didn't get very far in this, but that's okay. I did get a bunch done on the stream, though. I feel pretty good about that. So I'll finish up this row, and then I will go over everything that I have done on this stream. So first, since I'm planning on ending it in like 5 minutes, so this is the last thing that we worked on. My headscarf for my child is coming along quite nicely. I will continue working on this after the stream actively, since I do this, I work on these every single day. So this will probably be done before the next stream that I do. Next, we worked on this Naughty Gloves right glove, the Naughty right glove ridge, and got up to a little over 3 centimeters for this, and we started at about 1 centimeter. So I feel pretty good about that. That was some good progress. And first technically, we were working on these dragon scale gloves that I had worked from here up. So this part I've been working through and doing multiple color changes. And I worked about an hour on these, and I should be able to finish this soon. These two I might save until next stream, but I also might work on the dragon scale gloves in my spare time, depending on how quickly I get to them. But yeah, I think that is it for today. We made a lot of progress here. I feel pretty good about this. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. I am still figuring things out, which is going to be okay. There's going to be more things to figure out in the future. And if you want to, my goal is to hit 10 followers. I currently am at 5 followers, which is amazing. I'm so happy to have 5 followers. I will, if you want to help me reach my goal, you may follow me. It costs nothing. And I would love to hear from you during one of these lives anyway. Plus, I am also live on Mondays for productivity, and I will also be live tomorrow for my first ever stream revolving tabletop RPGs. I have a special surprise in there for what I'm going to be doing, so I hope to see some people there. That'll happen about 5 Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to go for 2 hours and about 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I hope to see people there. Thank you for joining me, and I hope everyone has a good day.